Have you ever wanted to solve a 4x4 just to impress your friends or just for fun? It's super easy, and let's dive into this. By the way, if you do not know how to solve a 3x3, make sure you go and check out that link, because in order to solve a 4x4, you will need to learn how to solve a 3x3. 3x3s are not hard to learn, and they take under 20 minutes to learn. To start off, you're going to want to line up these white edges. It doesn't matter where you do this because there aren't any centers yet. We're going to make them. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that none of these white pieces are on a ball or on the same line, because when you try and move this piece over, it just gets, this piece moves over as well. So it doesn't matter which side, you're going to want to move one piece onto this bottom layer. I'm going to do this side, for example. So I move it down, so now it's not on this top layer. Now, it doesn't matter where I move it over yet, but as you can see, if I have it on this bottom piece, it's like it won't work. So just pretend that this piece right here is the white piece. So pretend that this piece is the white piece. I need this white piece to be lined up with this one. So I'd want to have it right here because then it'd be lined up. So when I move it over, it's all lined up. And we'll do that with the next two pieces. So for this one, you're going to want to make sure you don't accidentally mess this up. So when turning it, so imagine the white piece is right here, and this white piece is right here. So this is on the same bar, so we'll just move it up. But we want so the white piece is here, so we want this to be lined up. So we'll move it here, so then the white bar will be moved up, and we can move it over. But make sure you want to make sure, be wary of where your other white bar is. Because if you move this up, you might accidentally break this. So make sure that this bar is clear of any white. So as you can see here, it's not clear. So we'll just move it down. So when I move this piece up, there was no right here, so it didn't mess it up. And now you can just pair the things up. So make sure they're not on the same layer, and just move it up. And that was the first center. The second center is a lot easier than the first center. All you have to do is line up the edges. So now that you have this bottom piece, you do not want to be moving up or down, because then it messes it up. Just side to side for now. So we're going to want to line up one bar. So what you're going to do is you're going to find two pieces. So let's do these two, for example. You want this piece on the top, and the yellow piece would be right here, and that would make a bar, so we can move it over. Now, how do we get it to the top without the bottom being messed up? Now, it's kind of tricky, but it's really clever. So you're going to move it up, and you're going to move it over twice, and move this piece down. And what this does is when you move this piece up and move it twice, you move it out of the same bar as white. So when you move it over twice, it's not in the same bar as white, so you can move it back down, keeping everything nice and tacked. So we'll do the same thing. We will find the other two yellow bars. So these two are the same. We want to move this to the other layer. And if yellow is right here, this would make a bar. So you can move it over. Boom. But now, if you try and move it up and it goes over and you do the thing, it just takes out that other bar. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have the two yellows in the same row. So when you move it up, it moves this piece out of the way. You can move this up to the other side, and then you can move this piece and this piece back, just like that. So, as you know, on our normal Rubik's Cube, white is opposite from yellow. And that's what we've done here. White is opposite from yellow. But so that means we need to make these, the rest of the centers, in the right order. So it would be green, red, blue, orange. Because if you do green, orange, blue, red, there is no green, blue. There is no piece that has green and blue on it for the corner and edge pieces. So it would never work. And that's why you have to make sure you're doing it right. So if you want to, an easy way I always just remember that it goes blue, orange, and then you can do the rest from there. So it goes blue first, then you go to orange, and then red is opposite of orange, and green is opposite of blue. And it's a little tricky, but if you ever need help, just have a 3x3 by the side, and just kind of like rotate through the things so you know which way it is. So for these next layers, it's a little bit more complicated, but essentially the same. So this time we just can't move this piece, we can't move it to the side, only up and down. So we're gonna wanna find 2 pieces. And blues are, I always like to start with blue, so let's start with blue. So you always, so we already have a bar here, but we don't want this extra piece right here. So we're going to move it up, and we're going to move it to the same bar as blue, so we can move it back down to see if there's any blue pieces nearby. So there is one. So we have this blue piece and this blue piece. So if blue was right here, then you could do this, but since they're in the same row, if you just try to move it over, it just wouldn't work. All right, so you're going to want to, you want to have the vertical bars. So if blue's right here, then this blue piece needs to be right here. So we'll rotate it twice, and we'll move this blue piece over. Now, where's our other blue piece? Okay, and since it's opposite, make sure that this piece is in the right spot, because we can't move it this way, because then they'd break up the white and the yellow. So we want to make it so it's vertical, and so then we can go. But make sure it's not on the same bar as this. So we'll just rotate it twice over, and we'll move it up, and that solves the blue side. So now, the next side is, make sure you're holding it the same way. So white's facing left, and yellow's facing right. So white's facing left, and yellow's facing right. So now if we move up, it's orange. So blue, then orange. So let's work on orange. So there is already another piece, but it is in the wrong spot. So we want this bar to go right here. And it's the same thing we used on the yellow piece. So we're going to move it up twice. We're going to move this top layer twice. And then we're going to move this bottom piece back down twice. So this, a 4x4 is a lot of do the same thing and just do one little move and then move everything back. So let's find the other bars. Oh, so we have another bar in here, but we don't want that. So to move it out, we'd move this up, and we can move it into the same bar as orange, so it won't be pulled back down. Then we can move this blue piece back. So now we have an orange and an orange. So if orange was right here, then the vertical bar, it would be right here. So we'll move orange up, and we'll move orange to the side. And make sure that didn't mess anything up, and if it did, make sure to move everything back. So I'm going to move this piece up, so I move it up. I want to move it out of this bar, so I move it out, and I move it back down. All right, so I have blue and orange. Now it's the same thing. We can't, if we rotate it like this, and then do the thing, it just brings it right back down. So we're going to want to hold it in the same line, so we'll move it up twice. We'll rotate this top piece twice, and move these pieces back down twice. So now we have blue, orange. So it goes blue, orange, and now since blue is opposite of green, so now we have blue is opposite, so now we're doing green. So it's a little bit tricky and it's a little bit hard, but I always find it's kind of easy to just, it's like a 3-move solve. So you're gonna wanna make sure you're doing this right, but there's essentially 1 or 2 cases, but I'll just go over this one for now. So if it's like this, you kind of just have to think through this. If I want to line up these pieces, I can move it like this, and it lines it up, but how would I bring it back down? I couldn't go like that, because now we just have red. And so we'll line up the pieces. So it doesn't matter in what order it is, but just make sure when you're moving it up, it doesn't move the 2 bars, just the 1. So you want to find it so the vertical bar is the bar that's you want to have the other piece that's not a bar. You want to have that one that you're moving up, and then you want to have the other one on the opposite side. And make sure before you do anything, just make sure that when you actually move it up, it does connect. So it does connect on this, and if I were to hold it like this, and I held it like this, and I moved it up, or if I held it like this, and I moved it up, it's diagonal, so that wouldn't work. So you have to make sure when you move it up, it connects. So we'll move it up, and it connects. We'll move this layer like this right here, and then we can move it down. And now we have solved all the centers, and we are almost done solving the 4x4. Edge pairing is really easy. All you have to do is find two edges that line up and are the same color. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure these edges are in these two middle rows. So for this one is already correct. So say it was right here, this would not work. You want them to be in the two middle edges. So whether if it's right here or if it's right here, all you have to do to insert them is just do R, U, R prime. And on this side it'd be L prime, U, L. So R, U, prime, R prime. So now we can move the. So what you're going to do is you're going to move this entire layer like that, and then you're going to take it out by going R, U, R prime, and then you're going to restore the centers by that, and then you're going to solve or put this edge pair in. So you would just go like that to put the edge pair in. Now you're going to want to find all the other ones. So for example, you have these two, and what I like to do is I like to sometimes when I have one and another one right here, I'll rotate this entire face twice so it's on the bottom, and then I can come and move this over here and rotate it once so they're both on this middle row. So then I will rotate this middle layer like this, take out the piece, restore the centers, and then insert that that white edge. So now let's do that with green. So we will L prime, U, L. And so this is parity when they're both in the same thing. And that's a really simple algorithm. It's just like this. And that gets them in the right spot. So now I can move this over like this and take it out, restore the centers, and insert the white edge. And for the last piece, we have a white edge right here, and the other white edge is right here. And you want to make sure you always do the white edges, so we'll take that out, over in the actual spot. So we're doing orange over orange, so that way we don't accidentally break one of these pieces. So we will line these up, take this out, restore the centers, and solve the cross. Then we're going to do that with all the other ones. So, for example, we have yellow and yellow blue and yellow blue, so we'll put them in the same thing. Parity again, so. And then we'll line up the edges, take them out, restore the centers. And then you can just store this anywhere you want. So we'll store it right here. And then we'll find another one. Let's do yellow and orange and yellow and orange. So we'll insert it. We'll do parity. We will line up the edges, take it out, restore the centers, and just put it right here. And you're always, what I like to do when I'm doing all the other ones that aren't white, I like to put only two of them right here, and then, because if I do the other two, then I couldn't be able to do it anywhere else. So I'm doing these two right here, so we'll do green and red, and green and red, so we'll insert these in here, and we will line up the edges, take out the edge, restore the centers, and as you can see, it solved another one right here. So we're going to want to take out this solved edge pair right here so we can keep solving edges. So we have 1, 2, so we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 more edges left. So these two are already in the right spot, so we'll just line up these edges, and we'll take out the thing. Make sure not to accidentally put in any solved edges, as it will mix them up. And we have parity right here, so, and then we'll line up these edges. And when there's 3 on top, what I like to do is, when there's 3 on top, if I put it right here and move it over, it insert this piece in here and it get mixed up. So what we do is we insert it for one of the already solved pieces, we move it over, we move it back up, and that puts them all, and then we move it over. And we restore the centers, and all done. If you are solving on the edges and you solve them all and the last two are right here and you try and flip it, move it over, there aren't any unsolved edges to take it out. So what you'll do is instead of having it like this, where you can solve it either way, you will actually do parity so they're all across from each other, like this. So they're directly across from each other. And then we'll do parity again. So we'll move this piece over, and then we'll do the parity algorithm. And then that flips these two, so when we move it back, it solves all the edges. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to solve it like a 3x3. And if you get stuck on something that you've never seen before, stay tuned because there are 2 more parity algorithms. So you would just solve it like a 3x3. Alright, for this, if you do beginner PLL, then you'll know that this is not possible for 4 of the sides to be solved, but 2 of them to not be solved. And it'll be something similar on beginner algorithm too, but when you come across the last layer algorithm, then this is the algorithm to fix it. And that solves it. In that case, it solves the entire thing, but other times you'll just have to do one more step to solve it. When you have the OLL parity, you're going to want so this was going to be the line, so you'll hold it right here, and you will do this algorithm. I know that algorithm is kind of long, but once you do that, it will solve the, make OLL solvable. So I'll go ahead and solve this. And then I got PLL parity, so I'll do the PLL algorithm. And in this time, I have to finish solving it, so. Alright, that should be it. Then on my next tutorial, I'll show you how to do all those advanced algorithms on the 3x3 called advanced PLL. So instead of when getting a case like this, where normally you would do a Y-perm, this thing, which solves these, and then you would do this. I could teach you to recognize an E-perm, which is this, or a M-perm, and finger tricks on how to do all this. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe.